football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Matchday Preview Live, streaming live on X, YouTube, Facebook and Town TV. Proudly brought to you by the club's headline digital partner Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender, offering fast, flexible business loans. It's another midweek clash under the lights here at Portman Road as Ipswich Town take on Charlton Athletic. After travelling to Middlesbrough on Friday, the Blues are back at home tonight, hoping to make it 4 home wins in a row with another game coming up this Saturday at home. The squad have been working hard, ready to give it their all in front of a loud and lively Portman Road. We've got a packed show for you as always tonight. We'll have all the latest team news, a catch up with Darren Ambrose, tonight's stats from Curly, your thoughts plus the insights from our special guests. It all starts right here on Matchday Preview Live. Welcome. So welcome Town fans to Portman Road, where a short while ago it was absolutely chucking it down with rain. Things have dried out now, just in time for the 2 stars of the show to arrive. Welcome to Alan Lee and to Adam Tanner to Portman Road. And chaps, Matt Holland, I spoke to him just before we went on air, and he said that was the perfect amount of rain to have on the pitch just before a match. Just gives it a little bit of spin, a little bit of bounce, and sets up the pitch nicely. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it gives a little bit of zip, as you said. Most players wouldn't mind that. You know, not too dry, not too wet. But Portman Road under the lights tonight, nice slick surface. Yeah, something really good game to look forward to. Excited
about this one tonight, Alan? Is another chance for Ipswich Town to get a home win?
Absolutely. I'm delighted to be back. I've not been able to make a game since August, and I know it's been a bit up and down, but you know, tonight we need the 3 points. I'm really looking forward to watching it.
We're looking forward to both your expert analysis on the show tonight. We're also looking forward to your comments watching from home. Feel free to comment on any of the social media channels. Also use the hashtag TownTV, and we'll use as many of your comments as we can over the course of today's show. It's Ipswich Town versus Charlton. Home form's been pretty good this season, hasn't it? Ipswich Town looking to get another home win. You know, we'll reflect more on Middlesbrough in a moment's time, but another opportunity for Ipswich tonight, Adam.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we had the Sheffield United game and then Norwich, 2 really good performances. You know, put us back on the radar for everyone in the league. Our home form has been excellent, and we'll just focus on that tonight. You know, the away form will take care of itself. Getting another 3 points tonight is the main objective.
We'll get stuck into things and hear both your thoughts a little bit more in a moment's time. But firstly, Ipswich Town on the back of a defeat at the Riverside Stadium. A tough trip, wasn't it, on Friday night? Let's remind ourselves of that match firstly.
Kiyusta supporting. Here is Kiyusta now, still inside the penalty area. Davis chopping onto his right, delivering across to Schmodix, and I think Dale Fry was in the way. Kiyusta delivering towards the back post, and Hackney in space, driving towards the Ipswich penalty area, away from Kiyusta onto his left. Shea spotting the run of Davis left side. Davis crossing in first time towards Hurst. That was brilliant, but Hurst can't find the finish. There was the block came in. Kipre's giving it away to Hackney, and it might be 3-on-1 here for Middlesbrough. Strelec, O'Shea trying to get back. He's got Conway in support. Good save, huge save from Alex Palmer. Diving down to deny Tommy Conway. Hackney, danger not clear, onto his right, wow. And again a fantastic save.
Over the bar, incredible save.
Corner comes in from the near side towards the back post. Fry rising. Fry trying to find Bergsorg. Here's Whittaker, through bodies and blocked away. Danger still not clear. Palmer again with a tremendous save. Gene approaching the Middlesbrough penalty area. Hurst inside the box now, forced to the left, delivering it towards Schmodix, and it's hooked away off the line. Hackney has found the ball to Conway, and Bergsorg is in acres of space. Bergsorg, Palmer down to his left, and it's a huge miss. Hurst, Philogene, more problems caused by Ipswich on their left side. Davis inside the penalty area, hauled down, is he? Penalty!
Yes, come on.
Hurst starts his run up now. It's George Hurst. It's saved. Bryce Britton supporting outside and feeds it into Delano Bergsorg. Bergsorg spinning away from Davis. Can he get across goal? And into the back of his own net from Cedric Kipre. Plays it to Waller-Egley, and Hurst wants the return, gets the return, cutting it back towards Schmodix. 10 years at Preston North End. Here come Middlesbrough again. Strelec delivering across towards Conway. Danger not clear. But Nunez with the delivery towards the front post. And the deficit is halved.
And they look lethal on the counter.
Nunez, Davis, Clark inside the penalty area. And it's diverted away from Adon. Clark. Middlesbrough have cleared their lines and have held on to beat Ipswich Town at the Riverside.
Middlesbrough 2, Ipswich Town 1. A lot to unpack from that match. I'm on the side that I think Ipswich were actually quite unlucky. We tried to be as honest and as impartial as we can be on Town TV. Listen, had Hurst's penalty have gone in, it's a completely different match. It was a very open game. Obviously Middlesbrough had their chances, but what's your sort of takeaway from that game? It was an unlucky defeat in the end, I think, Alan.
It was, although, you know, I think Kieran was pretty honest afterwards, and I don't think he necessarily felt, you know, that we should have won the game. But any time you miss a penalty in 0-0 away from home, you're disappointed. We just watched it. There was actually so many chances for both teams. It was wide open. I'm not sure Kieran will be happy with that. You know, he'll want to tighten it up, and I think we might see that reflected in some of the changes today. I think Hurst's penalty, I wouldn't say it was a bad penalty. You know, it was a good save. So you have to give the keeper credit, but we're looking to bounce back tonight.
Yeah, I think you touch upon some good points there. Ipswich were very open. Middlesbrough, you know, they did find a lot of space coming forward themselves. Obviously scoring a couple of goals. Kipre unlucky, wasn't he? I mean, you go from sort of the heroics of scoring in the derby to being an own goal. You have to feel for him, don't you? But yeah, I mean, look, there's things that Kieran will want to address from that performance, Adam.
Yes, they will. You know, losing's disappointing. You know, I think people do understand, or have to understand, that any away game in this championship is tough. Middlesbrough have had a really good start. Yes, we didn't play to our best, but it shows the brutality of this league. You know, yeah, Kipre was very good against Norwich. You know, it was an unfortunate error, but you know, you just have to dust yourself down. The good thing with this league is the games come thick and fast, so we've got a chance relatively quickly to redeem that result and performance.
Let's talk a moment about Alex Palmer, because he made some really good saves, especially in that first half. He's looking very comfortable, as pretty much established as Town's #1 now. What have you made of his performances, and specifically his performance against Middlesbrough? Man of the match performance.
Yeah, he made some excellent saves. I really like him. He seems so comfortable. He seems to have nailed down that position, which is a good starting point for the team. I suppose we're looking for the front two, the two defensive pair in front of him to do the same. But yeah, he's had a good season so far.
And of course, Town sort of seeming to find goals across the pitch. Dara O'Shea getting his first Ipswich Town goal, a great glancing header. Kipre, as we mentioned, getting his goal against Norwich. We'll see some of the goals, I think, possibly starting with the Kipre own goal. Unfortunate from him, as we mentioned, but great to see O'Shea hitting back as well.
Yeah, I mean, that goal was unfortunate. You know, he didn't have time to adjust his feet. I think there was a slight deflection that probably put him offline a bit, but it'd be disappointing. You know, we can't dress it up. You know, it wasn't ideal. Good to see Dara get his goal. You know, he's our captain now, so to see him leading from the front. But quite uncharacteristic from some of the breakaways that Middlesbrough had. We seem quite open, so I think Kieran will address that. And as we've said already, Kieran's very honest in his assessment of games. He's never too high when we do really well, and never too low when we do lose. But well, we haven't lost too much under him, I know. But yeah, again, a really good chance to put all that behind us tonight, and with a really good performance in front of the home fans.
And I think you kind of have to look at so far this season as being a tale of home and away being obviously the determining factors to whether we win games or not. I mean, obviously Ipswich haven't had a great away record, yet a fantastic home record. That's something Kieran will want to put right, but we're at home again tonight, so, you know, all positives there at least.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're quite in top gear yet, and there's reasons why. I mean, we've signed a lot of players. It's not like when we went up 2 years ago. We had a really settled team. Kieran knew pretty much a starting 11, with maybe the exception of 1 or 2. We're still finding out about some of these players. There's no doubt we've signed some really good players, but now they've got to bed in, fit in. But tonight, looking at this surface, the pitch is immaculate, wonderful surface for football. Adam, I don't know about you, I love playing on a Tuesday, on an evening game when there's no wind, nice damp surface. It's perfect for playing good football, so hopefully it's take off from tonight.
Yeah, it is obviously great conditions for Ipswich tonight. Another game under lights as well. Obviously it was Friday night, now it's Tuesday night. It does make a bit of a difference, those night games, doesn't it? Does it make a difference in the way you set up for it as a player as well? Because obviously, you'll have had the early kick-off against Norwich, then you have is that something difficult to manage in terms of what time you're kicking off, or is it not really something that players will be sort of too affected by, do you think?
Well, I was very superstitious on when I have to have my food exactly 3 hours before the game, and what you'll find is a lot of the players will still have those little things, even as much as kicking off. If the opposition are kicking off, I'd want to be on the right hand side of the circle, but they'll have everything thought about and planned well in advance. And I think the big thing from a player is when you're going to sleep, because it's a long day in a Tuesday for me. I don't know about you, Adam, but I'd want to have a sleep in the afternoon and then trick my body into think it's almost a 3 o'clock game again.
Is there pressure in Ipswich tonight? I mean, we are 9 games into the season. Obviously, we're just counting the Blackburn game because that one was postponed. 9 is what the table reads. We're talking about the home form. Is there now a bit of extra pressure to win those home games?
I think there's been pressure on us from day one. We've got a target on our backs because of coming down from the Premier League. We spent a lot of money, so there's always pressure. But yeah, we're expected to be sort of the front runners of the league, and we're not. But if we'd have won on Friday, we'd have been back right in amongst it. So we're not too far away. Kieran's very level-headed, and there's a bit of experience in the squad as well. But as Alan touched on, we haven't got going yet, really. In flashes we have at home. But it's a long old season, tough games. Once we get in our rhythm with the quality amongst the squad and the starting 11s and the bench, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned obviously there are so many new players that have come into this team. It is one of those situations where when it all clicks together, we've seen it against Sheffield United, we saw it in big parts against Norwich. When this team's playing, they are phenomenal. There is talent across the board.
No question. But I think that's got to translate into results. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of expectations on us now, and I suppose as a fan, you're coming here expecting us to win every game, and really that doesn't happen in the Championship. It's such a tough league. It's relentless. But the manager will be hoping that whoever starts today jumps out and makes sure, right, bangs a couple of goals in, sets up a couple, whatever it takes, and nails down their position. Because I think a squad works better when when you've got that settled 11. You can still add and still play, 1 or 2 can come out of that, but what you don't want is to have to make 5-6 changes to find a good team every game.
Just real quickly before we move on, do you look at the table now? Do you start looking at the teams above? Do you start looking at the gaps between, say, for example, Coventry in first place who've had a phenomenal start to the season? Just quickly, do you think that's important, or discard that for now?
I think it's inevitable. You have a look. The importance of it, I'm not so sure. It's a long, arduous season, so nobody wins the league at this point. Nobody can run away with it at this point. But you would certainly be looking at it, just because it's inevitable. You would do. It's in the nature, but not too concerned at the moment. I think we're sitting fine. I think a lot of people will be looking at us, knowing at some point we're going to make a real run for it. It's just when we can do that. As I say, the home form takes care of itself. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. It should be a good performance in front of a good crowd.
Yeah, it should be a good match, shouldn't it? Let's remind ourselves of the last time these two teams met against each other here at Portman. It was back in 2023 and was an absolute goal fest. Ipswich Town winning that one 6-0. Let's watch back the highlights of that one.
Feeds it into the feet of George Hurst. Davis, Chaplin, opening for Connor Chaplin. Can he pull his finger up? 1-0! He can't stop scoring, Connor Chaplin! 8 straight wins and the draw at Cheltenham as Broadhead can advance, and he flicks it through to Connor Chaplin. Chaplin might be in here. It's Connor Chaplin! It's 2! It's 2! For Luongo, 25 yards out, left-footed clip in towards Broadhead. Broadhead, flag stays down, hat-trick for Connor Chaplin. He's got to do it. Morsey snaps into the challenge. Chaplin outside Morsey. He's through to the Dapo. Inside the penalty area. The Dapo! Chaplin leads it and the Dapo scores his 4! 85 minutes gone there.
Great one again, Freddie.
The Dapo inside the penalty area. Gets away from it, does it? Yes! Hammers it home!
Well done, Freddie. On Caden.
Chaplin, cut back, Caden Jackson, cuts it back, it's Edwards, it's in the post, it's Davis! It's 6! It's 6 goals!
Wow.
And it's 6 league wins in a row here at Portman Road.
Absolutely love to see it. Ipswich Town 6, Charlton 0, a hat-trick for Connor Chaplin. It doesn't really mean too much tonight. Or does it? I mean, it will be on the back of Charlton fans' minds, that's for sure, especially the ones that came to that game. But ultimately, it doesn't really make a difference tonight. But a great memories either way.
Yeah, great memories. No, probably different managers. You know, Charlton definitely have got a new manager. But good times, good to look back on that. You know, with Connor scoring a hat-trick, really popular here. But no, that'd all go out the window today. And I've seen their manager's a bit of a lunatic, isn't he? Nathan Jones, he's quite lively on the touchline, so I think he might be more interested in watching their team. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see him tonight.
Hopefully he's not watching Town TV this evening. I'm sure he's busy preparing Charlton for what will be a tough game for them this evening. Are we at the point where we look back on those memories with a bit of nostalgia? 2023 was a couple of years ago now. It was obviously the promotion from League One season. I mean, fantastic season that was. I've got that right, haven't I? It was the promotion from League One season, yeah.
Yeah, it's great when you achieve something in football that's it's unexpected. It's, you know, there's I don't care what you say, there's something extra. When you're the underdog and you go up automatically, it's a huge achievement. I was lucky enough once to do it myself. You don't want the playoffs. You don't want the heartache of the playoffs. You know. So when you talk about earlier about looking at the league table, you know, as players you're constantly looking at it. What you don't want is let those top two get away from us, because I think our aspirations are still to, you know, automatic promotion.
It's amazing how things have changed, haven't they? You know, the last time we were in the Championship, it was just a glorious, unexpected finish. Second was against all odds, wasn't it? Now we're looking at the top two, and that's the aim.
There's a target on our back, and that happens now. We've established ourselves as a really big club in the Championship, and then funny things happen. Charlton players, if they do really well, they'll be looking at they'd want to move to a club like Ipswich, Adam, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, so people, and you come to this wonderful stadium. I did it myself before I signed for Ipswich. You lift your game. This is the best, you know, one of the nicest environments to play football and the best pitches. So that's a handicap for us as well.
Just looking ahead to tonight's game, and your mate Nathan Jones, he's described this as their toughest challenge of the season so far. Teams, they fear playing Ipswich a little bit, I think, don't they? Which goes to show just the aura that surrounds not just the playing squad, the management, but this football club at the moment. Obviously relegated from the Premier League last season. The eyes of the world were on this club, and still are in many ways. There's an aura about Ipswich Town, and playing Ipswich is a challenge a lot of teams look forward to embracing, I'm sure.
100%. I mean, it's testament to how far we've come in a reasonably short time. You know, not so long ago we were League One club for quite a while. But yeah, Charlton, as Alan said, we got a target on our back, so they'll come in here. This will be one of their toughest games. I'd imagine they'll be sort of setting up to try, and if they get away with a point here, I think they'd go home reasonably happy. But as Alan also said, you know, to play at this stadium for people coming in from other clubs, you know, you probably do aspire to play in this week in, week out. But yeah, big game for Charlton, but a big game for us as well. Interesting
statistic here. Charlton have won 7 of their last 8 midweek games. Again, you get these little weird runs in football. I'm not saying that is a weird run, respectfully to Charlton, but will that give them confidence?
As a manager, you'll use any tool you can get. So he'll be reminding them of that, you know, and that's what you have to do. But I think what's interesting in your point there, like things like their manager saying, "Oh, Ipswich are the toughest game." That's the little bit of, you know, gamesmanship almost in itself. They'll all be doing that. They'll all be setting up Ipswich for the fall, and then it starts probably us talking about it as well. You know, so you know, that's he'll be coming here to try and win the game. But he'll say little things like that in the press, just to put that little bit of pressure on, as if we should win the game easy.
And just a word on the Ipswich Town fans. I mean, they've been sensational this season. I know you've not been down here as much as you would have liked, Alan. You'll see it tonight. They've been unbelievable. Against Norwich, all four corners of the stadium, unsurprisingly, were on their feet. They could be the 12th man tonight. You'd expect it. The feel-good factor is well and truly here, and the Portman Road faithful will be a factor tonight.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. You know, they're sort of behind the team through the tough times, but really showing, you know, especially this season at home, you know, turning up in their numbers to support the team and not getting too despondent and always showing support. You know what I mean? Sometimes no game's going to go our way the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be frustrating periods, times when the other team have a bit of domination with the ball. But you know, they've been excellent, and like I say, I'd expect probably a full house tonight, and a big crowd from Charlton coming, I'd expect.
Yeah, I would imagine so too. A good match for Charlton fans to make their way down from London. Right, Darren Ambrose was a regular on Town TV over the past couple of seasons. We've been struggling to find him this year. I think he's got a bit too big time for us. He's been on TalkSport and Sky Sports quite regularly, but we've managed to find him and track him down and get him back on Town TV. He obviously played for both clubs, both Ipswich and Charlton, and he's been catching up with Town TV presenter Curly ahead of this week's fixture.
What kind of threat do you think they pose Kieran McKenna's side?
You know, they've been up and down this season. I've covered a few games for them this season, actually. I've done the Millwall game, the Leicester game, the Derby game as well. And I like the way they play, to be honest. Nathan Jones is really intense, and his team really buys into what he wants from them. They know they're not going to have a lot of possession, particularly against Ipswich. They're not going to be the team that's controlling the game. But what they do possess is real team players. Sonny Carey in the middle is a real workhorse. His ball carrying ability as well. He really tries to put it on the opposition when they do get the ball. They're obviously missing Matty Godden, whether he's going to be available or not. He's a big loss for them. So they've got Charlie Kelman, Harvey Nibbs they brought in in the summer. Not really hit the ground running. But yeah, the Leicester game I cover, for instance, they deserved a win. But they conceded a worldie for Taiwo, who scored a worldie in the second half. The Derby game, again, deserved a win, but they got the draw. And the Millwall game, it was Kane Ramsey, I think, got a red card. Otherwise, they'd have probably won that game as well. So in terms of their form, I think 1-3, drew 3, lost 3, scored 8, conceded 8. I mean, you can't get any more consistently inconsistent than that, to be honest. But look, they possess a threat. They really do. They work hard for each other. And they know it's different levels now. You know, Birmingham, Wrexham come up. Everyone was talking about them being at the top end of the division. But Charlton want to surprise a few people, and I think they certainly will.
Charlton, Tuesday night, under the lights at Portman Road. How do you see it going? Do you see 3 points for Town?
I do. And look, they're both my former clubs. I didn't end on great terms with Charlton, but, you know, I'm working my way back in there, obviously covering them on games. But Ipswich has always got a special place in my heart, brought me through the ranks. But it's nothing to do with that. I look at it from a footballing point of view. I put my logical head on. It's been, like I said, consistently inconsistent for Charlton this season. They're very intense, but I think the quality that Ipswich possess, like I said, under the lights at Portman Road, the stadium will be rocking. First game since the Derby as well, since beating Norwich. I think it's going to be tough for Charlton to come and get anything from the game. I think this might be a comfortable evening, by the way. I think we could be looking at a 2 or 3 goal win, and that's what I'm going for.
Great to hear Darren Ambrose back on Town TV. We're still here if you fancy having another appearance with us here on Town TV, Darren, if you do get the chance in your busy schedule to come back. Two guys who have made the trip down to Portman Road today, if you're just tuning in, Adam Tanner and Alan Lee. Lovely to hear the thoughts of Darren Ambrose, and obviously always interesting to hear from players who've played for both clubs and have had that experience, and we sort of thought this might be quite a nice sort of time to talk about your memories for playing for Ipswich Town and also playing for other clubs. Alan, a few of the clubs you played for, one we don't really mention, it's kind of a bit of an elephant in the room, but you have of course played for both Ipswich and Norwich on the back of a Derby victory here at Portman Road. How was that, crossing over the border? We've got Marcelino Nunes who's done it as well. What was it like? I mean, it must have been a bit odd.
Yeah, really difficult, because I'd made so many friends in Suffolk, still lived in Suffolk, and the players, I didn't leave on a cloud, or I got on great with the lads. So it was really hard, I must admit, to be turning out against them.
Well, we welcomed you back with open arms, and you were a legend at the club, and here you are back on Town TV. Welcome back to the family. Listen, Adam, what were your sort of memories of playing for Ipswich? I know we've spoken a bit about it over the years, but when you're here pitch side, back at Portman Road, I know you had great memories playing your career here. What sort of stands out for you? Hearing from Darren and sort of going back down memory lane a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me personally, it was like being an Ipswich fan. Sort of playing for the club I supported as a boy was something really special. And I was really lucky to do that. Also, I'd sort of mentioned sort of playing with like Walkie, who I came and had a picture taken with him when I was about 10. Do you know what I mean? And playing under George, another player that I admired growing up. So basically, yeah, just for me, the fact that I managed to live the dream of playing for the club I supported as a boy, that was really special.
And I mean, you are actually technically on the pitch as we speak. You've got half a foot off of our protective covering here. You're as close as anyone's going to get to being on Portman Road that's not a member of the playing staff or the coaching staff this evening. The players warming up, I don't know if you can see them just out of shot there. It is quite a special position, this, isn't it?
It's funny, I was looking up, I played over 550 games. And after a while, you're out there warming up and you start, it just becomes another day. And now I look back at it and think, God, how lucky was I to stroll out on those pitches? No one's asking for your security passes, you're just straight in. And it makes me think how lucky we were.
Yeah, that face there is your entrance into the ground, isn't it? No one's questioning whether you're coming back in, if it's who you are and whether you should be here. They just direct you to the Town TV studio or the executive box.
I'll get kicked out now.
Possibly. You've flagged it now. And obviously, there's been so many changes around. When you look at the ground, I don't know, there's something special about being under the floodlights. Everything with the rainfall, it kind of just sparkles a bit, doesn't it? The changes that have been made around the stadium. It's honestly, in my humble opinion, one of the best grounds in the country.
Yeah, really, and testament to the ownership group that they've invested not just on the pitch but off it. The stadium's unrecognisable from when they arrived, and I think that it's going to be an ongoing project. They're not going to settle for how it is now. They'll look to improve it. They're looking to improve the training ground. I think that's in place now. So we can't argue with the investment and the commitment from the leadership group. It's fantastic.
But we've kept some of the character, and I look at some modern grounds, and I look at what Colchester, the mess Colchester made of theirs, and go to Stoke City, and some of these, there's no character to some of these places. This place still has so much character. I remember coming here for Rotherham United when Ipswich in the playoffs under Joe Royle, and our pitch was a cabbage patch at home, and we arrive on this, and it was like our cup final, and we won. And we all gave that we all found an extra few percent because it was Ipswich on, and it was a night like this actually. So hopefully that bodes well for us.
Where's it going with this? Hopefully that doesn't repeat itself. So you were saying that Nathan Jones was a bit of a loose character. You referred to Rotherham's ground as a cabbage patch. Honestly, we do say nice things about our opponents usually. Right, let's move things on. Dave Vant, who you'll all know as the stadium announcer at Portman Road, he's also our fan zone reporter. But tonight, we didn't send him out to the fan zone because it was absolutely chucking it down with rain, and his enthusiasm actually melts in the rain. So today, we sent him to the club shop to build up some hype. Over to you, Dave.
Yes, JT, we love a fixture under the lights at Portman Road. Charlton Athletic coming down to Portman Road. Kick-off set for 7:45 p.m. We're in Planet Blue and we want score predictions, favourite players and favourite kit. We've got Jensen here with us. Who's your favourite player?
Nunes.
What's score going to be tonight?
7-0.
7-0. Who's going to score the goals?
Nunes.
All of them?
Nunes.
I love that. Nunes going to score all 7 goals. Absolute legend. And what's your favourite kit?
Third kit.
Third kit. Love to hear it. High five. Upper Town. Will, let's get some score predictions. Come on, mate. Here we go. We love a score prediction. Let's get some score predictions. Go on. What do you think the score's going to be tonight?
5-0.
5-0. We love to hear it.
3-1.
3-1.
3-2.
3-2. Upper Town. What's your favourite kit?
Favourite, what, this season?
This season.
This season, oh, that's difficult. I reckon it's the home kit.
Home kit, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Third kit's quite clean.
Third kit. I think my favourite as well.
Third kit.
Third kit. We love to hear it. Cheers, guys. Right, score predictions all around. What's the score going to be tonight?
4-2 Ipswich.
4-2 to the Town. Score prediction, mate?
2-1 to Town.
2-1 to Town. Sir, score prediction?
3-1 Town.
3-1 Town, Upper Town. Score prediction, please, sir?
2-0.
2-0, Upper Town. We go this way, Will. Favourite kit this season? Go.
New black one.
Love it.
Third.
Score prediction tonight?
2-1.
3-1.
Love it, Upper Town. We're going to come this way. Hi, guys. Welcome to Planet Blue. Can I get your score prediction, please?
2-2.
2-2?
3-2.
3-2?
I'll just go 2-2.
Love it. 3-1. 3-1. What a time to be a Blue. We love a home game. Under the lights. JT, back to you. Pitch side. Upper Town. Hold this for me. See you later.
Dave Van, high energy as always in the club shop, building up a bit of the atmosphere there. I love the 7-0 prediction, by the way. Who knows if that does end up happening? We'll, I'm sure, play that back at some point. Right, James Kirkland, or Curly as we call him on Town TV, wanted the week off, but we said no, Curly, get to work. So he's been out and about, building up a bit of hype, as you'll have seen over the course of this week, and he's been previewing Ipswich Town versus Charlton and some of the stats heading into this game.
Tonight it's Ipswich Town versus Charlton in the Championship under the lights at Portman Road. Here are some facts for you ahead of the game. The two teams have met 58 times in all competitions, with Town losing 20, drawing 13, but winning 25. Tonight, let's hope we make it 26. The players with the most appearances in this fixture for Town are Super Matty Holland with 12, Richard Wright on 13, and Mick Stockwell with 14. Gaffer, do you need me? No? OK, I'll wait here. But who scored the most goals? Well, Mick Stockwell, Ray Crawford and Daryl Murphy have all scored 4. Yes, go on. Got me out of breath. Random fact, the only player in Town's history where the letters Charlton appear are in Christian Walton's. You can have that one. Town's biggest win against Charlton came right here at Portman Road when the Tractor Boys ran out 6-0 winners. It also produced the fixture's only ever hat-trick, scored by Connor Chaplin. But which players do you think will shine under the lights tonight at Portman Road?
Lovely stuff, Curly, with the stat attack there, giving us the preview of Ipswich Town versus Charlton. Well, one man that knows better than all of us combined, let's be honest, is Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna, and he's been giving us his thoughts ahead of tonight's match.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. It's just Tuesday night, to be honest. You can't afford to reflect or, wallow if it doesn't go your way for too long. We were in on Saturday morning after a late return. We went through the game, bits that we need to do better in the game for sure. Of course, as we said after the game, it could easily have played out really differently. We had some big moments. Should have had a penalty before the penalty, had one cleared off the line. And of course the penalty, so we know it could have been different, but it's more important that we own the bits that we can do better on, and there certainly was some of them. So we've looked through those as a group on Saturday, but from this morning it's just, all eyes on Charlton and cracking on with that one. Yeah, they do, but you can't look too far on the back-to-back bit, but when it comes up in the calendar and you have a couple, you think, well, even just from a travelling point of view, you're like, well, that can help. So it's really nice to be back home. Certainly the players and I think the crowd and everyone is feeling like, the home games or the performances and results are moving in a positive direction. But we also know that you start from scratch in each game, and you can see that in the league really clearer than ever this year. You can't take anything for granted. We're expecting a really awkward team to come and make it really difficult for us on Tuesday night. So yeah, we know the fact that we've won the last couple. We know the fact that the last one was a derby win or whatever. It's better to have it that way than the other way around. But at the same time, especially after a couple of wins, it doesn't count for anything. We're starting from scratch on Tuesday night. We've got to keep doing enough of the right things in those home games, and if we do that, and hopefully the wins will keep adding up.
Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna giving us his thoughts ahead of Ipswich Town versus Charlton, and now we can delve into Ipswich Town's starting lineup, which is now official and across all of the social media channels, and we'll pick it apart, and you'll see that there have been quite a few changes this evening. 7 changes in fact in total, one of which was mandatory. Matasiwa, of course, picking up suspension after his 5th yellow card of the season. Otherwise, a host of changes from Kieran McKenna. Alan, what are your thoughts on tonight's changes?
Yeah, I'm just going through, me and Adam are just going through it. I suppose for me tonight, there's maybe 3 players out there, Azon, Akpom and Casey McAteer, that I haven't seen enough of, and I want to. I've been told they're good players, and I want to see them take the bull by the horns, really show us what they're capable of.
Let's break some of these players down. Azon obviously will be leading the line instead of George Hurst tonight. He came on and obviously showed enough against Middlesbrough for Kieran McKenna to decide to start him tonight. What have you made of what you've seen of Azon? He's got real potential to be a really good player, I think, for Ipswich Town.
Yes, he has. I mean, he's slightly different to George. He's not got that physicality that George has, but he's come on and shown some good touches. Big chance for him, big chance for some of the others. I think the likes of him and Jack Clark have come off the bench and really sort of thrown the gauntlet down really and said, look, come and pick me. It's going to be a squad game this season with the amount of games, so the amount of changes, a little bit surprising with the amount, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing Nunes, as starting at home for the first time. A lot of hype around him, obviously we're coming from Norwich, but I really want to see him establish himself tonight in the midfield and sort of put the shift in and show the passing ability that I think he's got.
We saw a flash of that against Norwich it was almost an assist, wasn't it? In the end, obviously, it was not quite, but there's definitely bags of class from Nunez. And actually, it's more of a case of who's remained from the Middlesbrough lineup rather than who's slotted in. Do you think it's a case of resting a few tired players? Because obviously we've had international break as well. A lot of those players have been on international duty. A tough, long trip up to the north for a match against Middlesbrough. Is it about maybe thinking longer and preserving a bit of energy for a long season ahead, Alan?
Yeah, well, I suppose look, Kieran's got a lot of good players to keep happy now, so there's an element of that in it. I think I think particularly these days it's quite normal for you to rotate certainly your front players. I mean, all the changes he did on Friday night was midfield and front players, wasn't it? There was 5 changes. But maybe we detect a bit of frustration there. Kieran's waiting for them to step up.
Let's take a look at the subs bench, because I'm sure that Kieran McKenna will turn to the subs bench as the evening progresses. Despite Curley asking to be involved in the match day, he hasn't made the bench as well as the starting lineup. He'll be disappointed by that, but jokes aside, we have a look at this subs bench. Kipre on the bench. I mean, listen, we've been speaking about the rotation, but Kipre's been so solid. He's obviously on the bench tonight. Wally Egley's young, 19 years old. I think he needs to sort of be careful with how much he plays at this point. We will see some of these players coming on a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, I think all these players will understand that they've got a role to play, and they're not all going to start every single game. It's a squad game. This league is relentless. Saturday, Tuesday's just starting up now. So there will be a bit of all the stats they do now. There will be a lot of sports science going into it. Some of the lads maybe need to be a little bit rested than others. But I think Alan's right. What we really need to do is establish our back 4 or our back 3, whatever way we're going to go. We can't. From my perspective, I think we need to establish. We can't keep rotating those. It's vital we build those partnerships and become a solid foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. So big options on the bench. Either way you look at it, this is a strong Ipswich Town squad, and there are lots of options for Kieran McKenna over tonight. Right, that is your Ipswich Town starting 11 and subs bench. To take a look at the away team, Charlton Athletic, is Town TV commentator Chris Parra. Over to you, Chris.
Yes, thank you. So whilst Kieran McKenna's made 7 changes, as you were just going through, just the 2 for Nathan Jones from the Charlton side, which began their win over Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday at the Valley. Tanto Olofe makes his first league start following a summer move from Stockport, and Kame Ramsey returns to the lineup. As normal, 3 at the back with wing-backs, a system and a way of playing which the Town boss described as tricky in yesterday's press conference. Thomas Kaminski gives them great experience in goal. He was playing in the Premier League with Luton just 2 years ago. Former Town loanee James Breeze, part of their defence. His crosses are hugely important to the way that the Addicts play. Lloyd Jones gives them a great height at the back. Sonny Carey's an interesting one in one of the midfield positions. Born in Norwich, spent his formative years in the Norwich Academy. Since arriving from Blackpool in the summer, he scored 3 league goals for Charlton and has been very impressive, according to Nathan Jones. And up front, Olofe joins Charlie Kelman as a 2. As Darren Ambrose said earlier, they're still without Matty Godden, who is injured. He is a big miss. So that's their starting 11. On the bench, one name stands out alongside the likes of Tyrese Campbell and Harvey Nibbs, that of Onel Hernandez, sure to get a hot reception, not just for his Norwich links, but also for those comments he made after Marcelinho Nunez's move across the border. You imagine he'll quite like playing the pantomime villain tonight if he comes on for his Charlton debut. His name definitely adds a bit of spice to the fixture, and I'm looking forward to when he warms up in front of the Sir Bobby Robson stand. That's the Charlton team and the bench then. James, back to you pitchside.
Thank you very much indeed. That there then today's opposition. Right, let's hear from one of the Ipswich Town players. Town TV's Jacob Henderson has been speaking to Ashley Young.
Ashley, appreciate you talking to us ahead of tonight's game against Charlton. How's the group doing ahead of looking to bounce back from the defeat at Borough on Friday?
I think that's the most important thing, bouncing back after a defeat, after any game, to be honest. Where you don't get the right result. We've got to take positives out of that game and go into tonight, and hopefully the crowd will help us as they always do. Just get the 3 points.
Looking to take those positives, as you say, what were those positives up at the Riverside?
I think at times the way we played, putting them on the back foot. We know teams play a back five against us. They want to stop us. It's down to us to break them down, and I know we've got the quality in the dressing room to be able to do that. So hopefully we'll show that again tonight.
The game's been different at Portman Road, though, and in what sense have you kind of been using the fans on your back? It's a good record here. Yeah, I think that's the one we've been saying, especially away from home. We want to put the performances that we have done at home away. But the fans have been like a 12th man every time we played here. They've been in their drones, their forces. We've heard them, and we want to go out there and give them a good display. And like I say, get 3 points. That's the main thing. Finally, do you enjoy these ones under the lights? Yeah, of course you do. I think if you're a footballer and you don't enjoy it under the lights, then you've got a problem. So it's always nice to play under the lights. There's going to be a bit of rain out there, but we'll be fine. We'll be able to deal with that, and like I say, we'll be ready for the game. Good luck, Ashley.
Ashley Young talking to Town TV's Jacob Henderson. Right, it's nearly time for us to wrap up, chaps, but we're just going to get your final thoughts ahead of Ipswich Town versus Charlton. We'll start with the obvious one, score predictions. Come on, Adam, let's hear yours.
I'm going 2-0. 2-0 to Ipswich, obviously. Scorers? I'm going for Nunez and Azon, two of the new boys.
You've heard the 2-0 prediction, Alan. Do you care to top that?
Yeah, listen, I've just been watching George Hurst warm up there. He looks like a thoroughbred. I reckon he's going to come off the bench tonight and score the winner, and it's going to be 2-1. 2-1,
okay, so some a bit more of a cagey response there. The atmosphere is building, the crowds are starting to make their way into the stadium. This is where the excitement really starts to kick in. Whilst we're listening to that Ashley Young VT, we're kind of all just looking around and taking it all in. You guys both had your phones out. There's a real buzz about Under the Lights at Portman Road.
Yeah, I miss it, and it's nice to be even. We've got a heel on the pitch.
Former player, go on, you can touch it. We don't mind.
There we go. It's. It really brings back to me just again how lucky, how fortunate we were, and just how bizarre, how routine when you're in the middle of it, how routine everything seems to be when it's far from that.
You get the game sort of face on, don't you, where you block things out, you focus on the match, but obviously as a pundit you don't have that.
Well, I had to get angry, so I'd arrive at the match early and I'd have to get angry and get aggressive and get into that mood, because I'm just not like that normally. So for me, I was very much kept myself to myself.
Can't imagine it, can you, Alan Lee getting
Such
angry?
a nice lad, I can't believe it.
All right, listen, we are going to hand over to the commentary team very soon. But just a reminder that the match passes available to all overseas territories are £10 tonight if you want to tune in and watch Ipswich Town versus Charlton. A big thanks to our digital partner Fleximize. Thanks for all of you for watching at home, for sending in your comments. Thanks for all the team working hard behind the scenes. All that's left now is for Ipswich Town, hopefully, to bring home the 3 points. Thanks very much. It'll be Curly back in the hot seat for the next one, folks, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
It's a new season, a new challenge, a new home, some new faces, same support.
The Pesket is there on the follow-up to make it 3.
We need you again. Let's do this together.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. This is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just blending passion and enthusiasm.